Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and I did not expect to do another strike video today, but we're going to talk about the powder keg that this writer's strike has become. Showrunners are threatening to leave the union after the WGA canceled a meeting with some of these top showrunners in Hollywood. They're trying to get this thing put to bed, right? I know AMPTP offered them a counter proposal a couple weeks ago, and it sounded like 85 to 90% of what they're looking for. The only thing that they wouldn't budge on was the number of people in the writer's room. That is the sticking point. Basically, the writers want job security. I mean, who doesn't want job security, right? But the reality is you don't need 20 people to screw in a light bulb. And sometimes the way that shows are now, given the short seasons and all of that, it's better if you've just got a couple of people working on the show, right? They said that, yeah, you can have a showrunner and we'll mandate that they get 2 assistants, but we're not going to give you 10 or 20 people or whoever in the writer's room. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Not for the amounts of money that you guys are asking for. Ain't going to happen. So now we've got showrunners getting thrown into the mix. I guess it's a powder keg. I guess there was screaming, there were phones being slammed. This is crazy. We're going to talk about it. Hollywood is eating itself alive. They really are. I mean, we did a video earlier today talking about Drew Barrymore, and now people are striking her, even though she is well within her rights as a union member to resume her daytime talk show. Like, that's not really covered by the strikes, I guess. She's allowed to do that. We've got SAG-AFTRA and the WGA cutting these side deals with people like, hey guys, you're not allowed to go back to work till the strike's over. We're not going to take these really good deals. No. But we're going to cut some side deals with these A-listers over here, and they're going to make some independent content. Don't worry, it's for the good of the union. But now these guys are going to possibly quit. This is crazy. This is kind of what happened with like George Lucas. Back in the day, the FICOR status, that's a whole thing. You guys familiarize yourself with that term, because I think we're going to be hearing it a lot in the future. We're going to have a lot of these people get fed up with the union system, and they're going to work outside the system. And I think that's actually what the studios want. I think that's what they want. I think they want to work with people who are willing to cut their own deals. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to clownfishtv.com, CFTV, for more objective pop culture news. This is coming from The Wrap, and it sounds like it got really bad. WGA cancels meeting with Kenya Barris, Noah Hawley, and other showrunners seeking to end the strike. Exclusive. The writer-producers are hoping to get answers and motivate the Writers Guild to reach a deal, an insider says, and it didn't go very well. They said the WGA canceled a scheduled meeting with top Hollywood showrunners, including Kenya Barris and Noah Hawley, on Monday after a week of intense bickering over whether the Guild was adequately seeking a resolution to the entertainment industry's crippling 4-month-old strike, The Wrap has learned. Now, remember, studios came back with what they said was their final offer, and they gave them pretty much everything they wanted except for the writer's room, and they turned it down cold. And I mean, some of these guys were going to get $11,000 to $14,000 a week, and they're like, yeah, it's not enough. That's not a living wage. What the hell? So Barris is, Kenya Barris is in charge of Blackish, and Hawley is in charge of Fargo. And numerous other powerful showrunners have been demanding answers from WGA negotiating leadership, namely Chief Negotiator Ellen Stutzman and committee co-chairs Chris Keyser and David Goodman. Where is Adam? Where's Adam Conover? You know, did he ruin everything? To ensure that the Guild was motivated to get a deal. The showrunners began to reach out for clarification last Tuesday, and the exchanges with WGA leadership was described to The Wrap by an individual with knowledge as intense and emotional, with phone calls between individual showrunners and Guild leaders leading to fights, shouting matches, and screaming hang-ups. Holy hell. The rising fear among some in the industry, including some high-ranking members of the writers community, is that Guild leadership is not interested in making a deal, but is intent on holding the line to get its first ask. Yeah, that's not a negotiation. A negotiation is when both sides present their desired 100% outcome. This is what we would ideally like if we could get everything we wanted. And realistically, you never get what you want. So you shoot for the moon, you know? And to be honest, the studios, I was shocked with what they came back with. Because I'm like, other than the writers' room, you guys got pretty much everything. I don't think they're going to budge on that. They cannot afford to pay that many people that much money for shows that aren't going to perform. You know, that's just not realistic. The Guild and the Hollywood studios, represented by AMPTP, haven't negotiated directly since a meeting between the committee and several studio CEOs on August 22nd ended with AMPTP publicly releasing details of its proposed contract. Again, that contract, I was shocked at how much they gave to the WGA. I didn't expect them to do that. I thought they'd meet them like halfway or something. No, they're like, hey, yeah, pretty much everything except the writer's room. And that's the thing. Last Friday, the Guild suggested in a public statement that studios make separate deals with the WGA, which the AMPTP promptly rejected. Basically, hey guys, you break off from AMPTP and you make deals with us on your own. But this is going to backfire because it sounds like some of these showrunners are going to up and quit the WGA too. A major factor in the renewed freeze in talks between the two sides is a dispute over whether the studios or the Guild should provide the next counter proposal to continue talks. In its memo on Friday, the WGA maintained that it presented its own counter proposal on August 15th, 4 days after it was first presented to the negotiating committee. The Guild said that it's waiting for a formal response and blamed the current standstill on AMPTP paralysis. Hey guys, come over here and cut a deal with us. The AMPTP retorted in a statement hours later with its own timeline of the renewed August negotiations, saying it had talks with the Guild on August 16th and 17th on contract terms regarding AI use in WGA covered work. It's not going anywhere, guys. All you can do is try to mitigate it. The organization claims that on August 18th, the studios offered further compromises in response to the Guild's August 15th proposal, and that the Guild said it would respond within the week. The AMPTP said in their statement that it has not heard from the Guild since that time, that the statement doesn't make any note of the meeting with the CEOs held on the 22nd. The individual with knowledge of the WGA's canceled meeting with the showrunners sided with AMPTP's account of the talks. The WGA have not countered. They have held the line with what they went in with, said the individual. The person also said that Hollywood CEOs have continued to reach out individually to try to break the logjam and spark a true negotiating conversation. But the individual said they're not cooperating with anyone. So the WGA is being absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The individual said some showrunners are considering leaving the union and working independently, a sign of how the trust is beginning to fray between leadership and some influential members. Again, learn the term FICOR, because a lot of these people, I think, are going to go out on their own. And they're going to be like, screw the union. Like, no, I want to work. I want to work. And there's no reason why I can't work. You know, and belonging to a union at this point in time is suicidal. It really is, because they're going to hold out till they're going to turn blue in the face. And it's like, do you want to starve? Look at Drew Barrymore. She's like, hey, I got other people I got to think of. We got to start the show so we can get these people paid. You know, I mean, if it were me, and I am not a member of either of these unions. I am eligible to join SAG-AFTRA, though, as an influencer. I meet all the criteria for that, but there's no way in hell I'd do it, especially not after this. There's no way in hell I would do it after this. But if it were me, I would leave. I would just be like, I'm going to go cut my own deals. I'm not doing this like you guys. Good luck with that. You know, I wish you all the best. I hope you get what you're looking for, but I've got people I have to pay. I got work I want to get done, and I really don't want to lose my house, and I don't want my people to lose their houses. So let's get back to work, right? Yeah, they said they don't want help from anyone. WGA has rejected offers of mediation from the outside, whether politicians or other business figures. So other people have been willing to step in and negotiate to try to get this thing moving, and they refused. They don't want help from anyone, said the individual who was frustrated that there's no active negotiation happening. I'm guessing this is probably a showrunner. They think everyone is complicit. Many people that have no horse in the race have tried. Meanwhile, studios are continuing to suspend overall deals to high-profile showrunners, including Lorne Michaels, Chuck Lorre, Big Bang Theory. I mean, Lorne Michaels, Saturday Night Live, J.J. Abrams, Fringe, The Rock, he had his deal cut. You know? I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? There's no money coming in. What are you going to do? But I think the studios wanted this. I really do. I think they knew this was going to happen, and they wanted to save money, and they're like, yeah, we'll just turn everything off until the end of the year. We're going to pretend like it's another pandemic. We're just going to shut everything down till the end of the year, let them turn blue in the face, and then see how Christmas goes for them. Let's see how the holidays go for these folks. You know, it's going to be pretty meager. And then after that, we'll renegotiate. I'm just saying. Like, I would have taken that last deal. It looked pretty good. You know, you got pretty much everything you asked for. And you should never go into a negotiation like this expecting to get everything. Again, you shoot for the moon. And if you get 50 or 60% of what you're asking for, you're doing pretty good. And these guys were getting like 85, 90% of what they're asking for. And at this point, it sounds like the showrunners are just freaking fed up. Like, we're done. We're done. We're tired of your shit. Let's get back to work. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.